Good morning. We will begin our service with the ringing of the temple bell. At this time, please silence your cell phone and listen quietly as the sounding of the kanshō is an invitation to settle our hearts and mind as we prepare to receive the Dharma. Thank you.
Namandam, 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 namandam.
Aloha everyone, I'm Maki Yamaguchi and I will serve as your MC this morning. Assisting at the temple with technical support is the Zoom crew of Darren and Lin Katayama and Alan Matsumoto. Colleen Chong is our organist and Betty will lead the singing. Please rise and let us start the service with the Vandana and Tisarana. Please chant both Pali and English part together with Reverend Blayne.
Vutsanamanda, 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 Vutsanamanda.
Please remain standing. Reverend Blayne will now share an aspiration.
Please join me in Gasho as we reflect on the words of the Buddha from the Diamond Sutra. Thus shall you think of all this fleeting world, a star at dawn, a bubble in a stream, a flash of lightning in a summer cloud, a flickering lamp, an illusion, a dream. Entrusting ourselves to the all-inclusive wisdom and all-embracing compassion of Amida, the Buddha of infinite light and life, in gratitude, joy, and awareness. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
Please be seated. It is now time for the offering of incense. We invite all Sangha members in attendance to please come up and offer incense if you wish, starting from the front rows and moving towards the back. Please use both incense burners. Let us observe a moment of silent meditation. Reverend Blayne will now lead us in chanting the Sutra Sambutsuge. What can be found on page 47 in the red Jodo Shinshu service book and on the screen. Again, page 47 in the Jodo Shinshu service book.
Vows to embrace all beings equally without exception. These vows promise to create a perfect world where no suffering or evil exists and guides us to supreme awakening. The Sambutsuge, or Hymn in Praise of Buddha, is a poem from the larger Pure Land Sutra in which Amida Buddha, as a bodhisattva, praises his teacher and makes his 48 vows to establish the Pure Land of Enlightenment for the welfare and happiness of all beings. We chant the words of the Buddha as a reminder of these great vows made to awaken and to liberate us all. The Hymn in Praise of Buddha.
지혜 진묘
師匠変死諸国尿税精進異人難慮両が差分国土第一五種金曜道場超絶国尿内音任務闘争ガト愛民道達一切ジェポ大将新年少女伊藤が国下落安穏古文神妙税が神書本願の非力少々欲ジェポ生存知恵無下上領子孫知が信用下領心死諸具道具中学業精進年中不減ナマンナムナマンナムナマンナムナマンナムナマンナムナマンナムがにしぐどく平等性祭道本もないしおうちょうあんだこ Namannab, 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 namannab.
Please rise for the Gasa, a special place. Words can be found on the handouts and on the screen. There is a square upon the floor, an island Amida stands inside the shrine, a smile upon his face. I smile right back, I'm glad to be here in this special place. Now there's time to sit and think of all that I can do to care for those around me each day the whole week through. This is a home to gentle thoughts when sitting quietly. For kindness lives within this place, it lives inside of me. It lives inside of me. You may be seated. Today's Dharma message will be shared by Reverend Blayne.
Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Hi, good morning, everybody. So the song A Special Place, I think, is a really fitting song for our community, right? We strive to be a temple, a sangha that is open and welcoming to everybody, because all are fellow travelers. We are all living this ordinary life. We are struggling along together, but we come together, right, each week in this special place as friends in the Dharma, as members of one sangha, one community. And I'd like to, share that this Wagyesa is a rainbow Wagyesa. And so we celebrate Pride Month in June. And before the end of the month, I want to wish everybody a very happy Pride. And that we welcome all to the circle of Namo Amida Butsu. And the rainbow signifies, right, diversity. That is our strength of our community, of our sangha. That all are welcome. No one is ever turned away or left behind. Just as Amida's vow of compassion embraces each of us equally without exception. And so, it's hard to believe that today, it's already halfway through the year, right? Right, and Riley already came back from summer school, right? So, and it just feels like yesterday it's still in January. I just don't know where the time is going, right? But life, right, as usual, moves very quickly. It is often unpredictable, and it can be immensely challenging at times. This is the truth of impermanence that the Buddha taught, and we suffer when we seek to escape or to deny this reality, this truth of life. You can see here we have some beautiful arrangements, and this was from a funeral that we had yesterday, right? Again, a reminder of that cycle of life that we're all living, right? The Buddha once asked a student, "How long is a human life?" And the student replied, "It is so brief, it seems but a day long." He then asked another same question. "What is the true length of a person's life?" She answered thoughtfully, "It's the time taken to eat a single meal." And so the Buddha asked the third student, "How long is life?" "The time in a single breath," was the student's reply. "Exactly so," said the Buddha. "You understand." Right? From breath to breath, from moment to moment, we are living the fullness of our lives because we don't know when our next breath will occur. And so no matter how much we may wish otherwise, we cannot escape the truth that all things change. Impermanence is not something happening somewhere else to someone else. It is the very nature of our lives. Sometimes this truth arrives quietly in the gentle passing of a season or the soft fading of a memory, and sometimes it comes suddenly, rocking our world. Right? The recent 6.0 magnitude earthquake, right, that we had a few weeks ago was one of those moments. Right? That evening, I had fallen asleep on the couch, like I often do, expecting nothing unusual. Right? But in an instant, I was awakened to the violent shaking of the house and crashing of objects hitting the floor. Right? Where were you when the earthquake happened? Right? What had begun as an ordinary day became something very different. In that moment, I was reminded once again of how fragile and unpredictable life can be. In a single instant, the ground beneath us can shift. Of course, not every disruption in life comes in the form of an earthquake, although we've been having a few tremors recently. You know, often, right, these tremors we experience, right, are more personal in nature, less visible. A painful diagnosis, the loss of a loved one, disappointment, uncertainty, fear, or a change we neither asked for nor can control. Yet, whether dramatic or quiet, these moments reveal the same truth that this world is not fixed, and neither are we. The Buddha taught that all things are impermanent and that our suffering stems from denying this truth. We want what is pleasant to endure. We want what is painful to pass quickly. We want to win the jackpot every time in Vegas. Right, Elaine? Yeah. And we want stability when nothing exists, right? Yet the wheel of life keeps turning, and our peace begins not when life stops changing, but when we learn to live within that change, right? To lean into that, right? With wisdom and trust. This doesn't mean that we become hardened or detached from life, right? It means that we begin to soften and learn not to cling so tightly. We become more flexible and more grounded in what truly sustains us. When we embrace life's groundlessness, we discover a deeper, more responsive support. The Dharma opens our eyes to reality as it is and teaches us to navigate life's ups and downs with greater equanimity, greater steadiness. In this way, embracing impermanence is not despair, it is liberating. It allows us to cherish this life more deeply because we know each moment is unrepeatable, precious, and brief. The promise of universal awakening from the darkness of our greed or anger or ignorance is the hope that the Buddha offers to us unconditionally. In Jodo Shinshu, we understand this promise of spiritual transformation as the vow of Amida Buddha embodied in the Nembutsu. The Namo Amida Butsu is the fulfilled promise of Amida Buddha to embrace, never to abandon. It's a light in the darkness which never dims. Reverend Marvin Harada, the current bishop of the Buddhist Churches of America on the mainland, shares this following passage in his book, Discovering Buddhism in Everyday Life. And he says, no matter how turbulent or chaotic the world might be, Shinran, our founder, found the greatest peace, the greatest comfort, the greatest meaning in the Buddha Dharma, in the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. The world could be tumbling down all around you, but if you had the truth of the Nembutsu deep within your heart and mind, there is an indestructible solace, a peace, a tranquility that could not be shattered. You know, there's a beautiful teaching from Reverend Gojun Shichiri, a 19th century Shin Buddhist priest in Japan, that offers us a vivid image of this truth. He said that when we store plates in a cabinet, we place sheets of paper right between them, right, to protect them, to prevent them from breaking. In the same way, he taught, we should place the Nembutsu between the many fragile aspects of our daily lives. The Nembutsu becomes a cushion, a protection, a support, and a reminder that even amid the ordinary busyness and uncertainty of life, we are held by something greater than our own strength. Although it's also a reminder that you should clean your cabinets sometimes. Yeah, Glenda, yeah. I thought of this teaching during the earthquake, right? When the shaking stopped, I found my wall clock had fallen and shattered, leaving glass everywhere. Nearby, a hand-blown glass sculpture had also fallen. It too could have shattered, but it landed on the cushion beneath it and was unharmed. What a simple yet powerful reminder of how much a cushion can make a difference in our lives. That's why we have shock absorbers, yeah, on our cars. And so it is with our lives. We will fail, we will fall, we will be shaken, we will face moments that leave us vulnerable and exposed. Life is hard, this much is certain. But it need not be faced alone, nor does it have to crush us. When we entrust ourselves to the Buddha and let the Nembutsu cushion our hearts and minds, we find that even if we stumble, we don't have to break. After the quake, right, we've been sharing stories of where we were, what had happened, and what came up as a common theme, right, was that though shaken, right, we checked in with one another and immediately sat to work cleaning up the mess left behind. Who's still cleaning up? Yeah. Right? But ever grateful, right, for the gift of life that we are living. Right? This is the compassionate working of Amida's vow. To embrace us as we are, never to abandon. Not only when we are strong, but even more assuredly when we are weak, when we are hurting, when we are in pain. Not only when we are brave, but also when we are frightened, grieving, uncertain, or weary. By entrusting ourselves to this boundless compassion, we find the courage to live fully in this impermanent world of dew that we're living in. Let us embrace change with clear-eyed confidence, meeting it with humility, with gratitude, and trust. Let us treasure each moment, knowing it will not return, like a bubble in a stream, like a flash of lightning in a cloud, like an illusion and a dream. Let us walk this path together, through joy and sorrow, through good times and the tough times, supported by the Dharma and cushioned by the Nembutsu. In closing, please join me in Gassho to recite the Nembutsu together. Entrusting in the Buddha of all-inclusive wisdom and all-embracing compassion, we call Amida's honored name in gratitude, joy, and awareness for the great enlightenment in the life to come. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Mahalo.
Thank you for your Dharma message, Reverend Blayne. Glenda Yamagata will now lead us in unison reading of the Eightfold Path to Happiness. Words can be found on the handouts and on the screen. Please recite the passage out loud together with her.
Thank you, Maki. The teachings of the Buddha help us to understand the oneness of all life. To lead us in the right direction, the Buddha provided us with the Eightfold Path. Right views, to keep free of prejudice and superstition, and to see the true nature of life. Right thoughts, to turn our minds away from violence and hatred. Right speech, to refrain from harmful talk, and to use our words wisely, right conduct, to see that our deeds come from peace and goodwill, to grow every day in the Buddha's teachings, right livelihood, to try to earn our living in such a way that we avoid causing suffering, right energy, to use our energies to promote the overcoming of ignorance and destructive desires, right mindfulness, to cherish a good mind, for all that we think and do has its roots in the mind, right meditation, to study the teachings of the Buddha and to practice them to the best of our abilities. May the presence of the Buddha, who said that we would live in his teachings, be our guide. May we follow this path until we too realize nirvana.
Thank you, Glenda. We will now have the olfactory presentation. Mahalo for your generosity, everyone. Please rise as we will conclude this service with singing of the Gasa Nembutsu.
Namandam, 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 namandam.
You may be seated. This concludes today's service. Here are some announcements. Upcoming schedule of service and events. Next Sunday, July 5th, Obon Cemetery service will be held at 10 a.m. up at the cemetery. Reverend Blayne will share a Dharma message. Please join us at the outdoor venue for this annual remembrance of our ancestors. Sunday, July 12th, Minister's Assistant Linda Nagai will share a Dharma message at the regular 10 a.m. Dharma Family Service. Sunday, July 19th, Obon Family Service will be held at 10 a.m. Guest speaker will be Reverend Satoshi Tomioka from Puna Honganji. If you'd like to honor your departed loved one at this service, please submit their name to the temple office by Wednesday, July 15th, by email or phone call. Their names will be read out loud during the service. Heads up, Konahonganji Bon Dance and Craft Fair will be held on Saturday, July 25. Food and craft vendor will open at 5 p.m. and Bon Dance will start at 6 p.m. A large event like this requires lots of help by many volunteers. Please refer to the July Jiho and Blayne's weekly email update for a list of where help is needed. Your kokua in any way will be greatly appreciated. There will be no service on Sunday, July 26th, so we can all recover from the bond dance the night before. Any other announcements? Blayne.
Oh, as you notice, we have the lanterns up for Obon season, so we get to enjoy them for the next month or so. Thank you to Darren, Alan, and Lynn for and Lisa for putting them up. Or did Lisa just watch you guys? Thank you for putting them up early this week. So we can look forward to enjoying the lanterns throughout the month of July and early August. So.
With regard to the Obon service that we're having on July 19th, Maki just said that if you have loved ones that you would like to be remembered on that day, their names will be read out loud. And so I have a list today, which I will circulate during refreshments, and you can list the names of your departed loved ones. They don't have to be Hatsubon families. It can be anybody in your life that is now part of the Pure Land. And they don't have to be Buddhists. They can be any other religion. They don't have to be Konahonganji members. They can be on the mainland, anywhere else. If you would like to remember them, please sign their name on this list. Okay, thank you.
Any other announcement? I have one.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Just one quick thing. The lanterns, if you notice the 4 in the very middle, those are brand new. They were donated by Reverend Eric Matsumoto and Tamayo Matsumoto. So.
As the sensei mentioned today, this month is a Pride Month. I want to share, if you have a Netflix, there's a movie titled This Is I. It's a Japanese movie and it's a very good movie. So I hope you watch that. Okay, those of you on Zoom may leave at any time. Those of you here in person, refreshments will be served in the conference room. Thank you to Janet Yanagi and Glenda Yamagata for providing today's refreshments and to anyone else who brought goodies to share. Mahalo to Mildred Kaneko for preparing the altar rice bowl. Your attendance today is very much appreciated. Remember that next Sunday's service will be held up at the cemetery and not at the temple. Please stay safe, and we hope to see you at future services and especially at our bond dance on July 25th. Thank you. Thank you. Anytime I'm available.
Did you forget?